Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman in our downtown Lansing studios. We're going to run down the road a little bit, though, and we're going to spend some time with Emily Heintz, one of our favorite people. She's the founder and managing director of EntryPoint in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And, you do research all over the place, Emily, and
Yep.
sometimes it's actually hard to keep up with you, which I think this is not the first time you've heard that in your life.
That is true. All over the Midwest. So we're small business and startup community focused, but do research all over the Midwest. So
Well, and one of those areas I think that we've all paid attention to the last few years as to how its recovery is going is the Genesee County area, Flint being centric. So tell me a little bit about that. You just finished some research.
yeah, I'm super excited about this. I think it's probably like one of my more favorite reports that we've published. We were approached by the Flint Genesee Economic Alliance because they were kind of looking at how to better address the needs of the small business community there, and like create more programs to support small businesses. And so, as you guys all and viewers know, there's a lot of a long history in the automotive industry in Genesee County. And then more recently, in the last couple decades, there's been a lot of like tumultuousness with the auto industry and the recession and the Flint water crisis. So it's really cool to be able to look at the vibrancy of the small business community there. It's there's over 3,000 small businesses in Genesee County, a large array, much larger than we see in a lot of regions, of diversity of sectors, diversity of business owners. So it's a really rich small business community there. And I think too, it's something that like really helps stabilize the economy when you don't have all of your eggs in one basket.
Well, and they did for many, many years, as you know, the auto industry, and then they made the attempt at Auto World, which of course, unfortunately was a big flop. And then University of Michigan came in, kind of salvaged that section of town. Kettering is there. I mean, there's a lot of good things going on there, but they have really struggled to have recovery. And I'm glad to hear there's an entrepreneurial sector, because that used to be somewhat of a black hole over there.
Yeah, it's not so tech focused, but there really is a ton of like retail, a lot of a
Service,
lot of
service industry.
services and restaurants and things like that. And I think that really creates a lot of opportunity for the local community, to like start their own businesses. And 64% of net new jobs in the U.S. are created by the small business community. So when you really look at like what the economic impact is of having a really vibrant small business community in a region, it's like a really great asset for the region to have, and I think is going to really have a big impact on their economic improvement and recovery going forward.
Well, I'm excited for them. Tell me a few things that came out of this study.
Yeah, so we looked at the overall small business community. We also looked at the impact of COVID-19 on the small business community and ways that the small businesses can be better supported by local groups. So what we noticed was that the professional services industry was hit the hardest by the pandemic and a lot of that is because people kind of view those things as luxuries, and they're hard to do at all in a distanced way. But that a lot of these like other industries where you'd think like retail or restaurants would be hit much harder, actually had a lot of reduced costs during the pandemic. And so we're able to like really pull forward. And so I think that really demonstrates how important it is to kind of have a broad array of sectors within an entrepreneurial ecosystem to like help offset, like some things are getting hit really hard, some things aren't, by a variety of different things. We also found that business owners, small business owners are about 50% women, 50% men, and that Black women are the highest proportion of female female business owners in the small business community there. So it's really a really diverse community. So it's interesting, in other regions, we don't see the level of ethnic and racial and gender diversity that we do in Genesee County. So it's really cool to see.
Emily, you found a little bit, our future business index in the field as we speak. And one of the things we like to ask about is, what do you think about the next 6 months? How do you feel? Did you get any feedback on what they feel they might need?
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking at in the future, financial assistance and looking for outside funding are one of the largest things that the business community is thinking about recovering from the pandemic. So like policymakers and economic development organizations should be really focused on finance and like increasing access to capital for small businesses in the region, in addition to providing marketing support. And I think everyone really needs to think about, in all regions, about shifting their focus from just shop local to doing business locally and working locally with professional services firms, restaurants, like a broad array of small businesses in your region, and not just thinking of it as like a gift guide thing or a thing you do around the holidays.
Yeah, well, I think that would be that would mean a lot, especially in that geographic region. I know you have a myriad more of things, so we're going to provide a link to your research on our website. So if anybody wants to get that, jump on the Michigan Future Business Index or the Michigan Business Network and pick up Emily's Genesee County research. Emily, it's always good to spend time with you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so good to see you.
All right. Emily Heintz, founder and managing director of EntryPoint in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. We'll be right back with more.